Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector. We'll get started on our next multiplayer matchup. I am going to be playing as the Orcs against the Tau, and we're doing an Exterminatus mission at the Sanctuary, which is the HQ location for the Sisters. It's a 3,000 point target with 100 points that we want to kill, and we have a 10 turn limit. Army cohesive armies are required, I should say. And if you're liking these videos, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. So we'll get our Orc armies deployed here. I'm going to try to overwhelm them with numbers here. So I've got 3 Weird Boys. I've got 4 Pain Boys to try to get the HP buffs. I've got a bunch of Gretchen to soak up Overwatch. I've got 3 or 4 Knobs with Power Claws. I've got 4 Shooters with Def Guns, 4 Flash Skits, and 4 Def Copters with the custom Mega Blasters. So hopefully they'll be able to do damage against any sort of stealth suits and other vehicles that come towards me.
If we have to, we'll move.
And if there's a bunch of infantry together, if I could get the Gretchen to soak up the Overwatch, then hopefully they'll be able to get in there and drop some bombs that do some damage. So I think no matter what kind of force selection he uses, it should work out in our favor. And now I'm just trying to move everybody up. Unfortunately, it gets to have some bottlenecks on this map, which can sometimes be a little bit frustrating. And as you can see, I have pretty similar forces in each direction. You know, a couple of Gretchen, Flash Skits, Knobs, a Pain Boy for the HP buffs, and then a Weird Boy to be able to use the Warpath ability to give them a damage reduction and then increase the damage that they do. So I just got to see how long it's going to take me to be able to get into position here, unfortunately. Running these guys up.
Well, if we have to, we'll move.
Get the Gretchen here. And keep moving forward. We've got to be a little bit careful that I don't overextend myself, because he's going to definitely outrange me. And I don't want to give him a bunch of free attacks to snipe my HQs at range before I can do anything. So the whole point of this build is to be able to soak up a couple of attacks while I close the distance. But we want to kind of keep them together as a death blob so I can get those buffs going.
If we have to. Death from above. Lures have the best shooters.
Ready to fight.
Alright, still can't see anything really. It's like I think the... Alright, so he's got a hammerhead back there. So I think the Pain Boy's abilities goes 2 squares, so I just want to keep him a little bit closer. I'm going to keep him in the center, with the hopes being that the pillar in front of him should be able to soak up an attack. But yeah, he's definitely got some guys on Overwatch there. And the Grots are soaking up those attacks.
Lures have the best shooters. Well, if we have to, we'll move.
And now I wasn't really thinking I should have buffed my guys before I was moving them all around. But it is what it is, I guess. Because ideally I should have given this to the Gretchens too.
If you say so.
So I bring him up here, and I bring this guy up 1, and now everybody will get it. And unfortunately, I can't blind anybody. I move you up thinking, well, maybe I can get enough shots here to do pretty big damage. And I got nowhere near where it was estimating. And it's like, well, I got a 46% chance to hit. And we nail it, so it's like, alright, that wasn't too bad. So we'll pull you back and start closing the distance with the knobs here.
Ready to bust the boys.
And hopefully everybody's got some bonus health there to tank any shots. And since so many guys came over here, hopefully there's not a whole lot that are over here gonna get overwatches. And it's like, well, unfortunately I put those
Orcs is the best and us flash kits are the best orcs.
put those Gretchen forward so I couldn't move everybody else forward. So we're just gonna keep moving up. And he's got some drones over here. So we're slowly just kind of moving everybody up. Can have you hide behind the pillar.
Burst of the burst.
I guess I can try to get some shots here. But I'm not sure you're going to really land any attacks, given the distance there. Worth the shot.
The old ways is best.
And we'll bring these guys up
Talk is with us.
and get the buffs going.
What is it?
And now we just have the center to move around.
What now? Ready to saw boats. It's our time.
It's like, where do I want to put this guy to try to get a shot? It's like, I'll move you up here. And I can't really hit anything. So if I move you up one, you can hit there. You got 45, so let's launch one. And you do get a hit, so it's like, alright, that wasn't too bad. Pull you back. I'm a little worried with all those hammerheads. And unfortunately, I had buffed those guys without buffing my Ludas there. So that was a bit of a mistake. Just got a cadre back there. And I can't see anything. So it's like, well, let's just pull you back, I guess.
Orcs is the best and us flash kits are the best orcs.
It's like, well, I guess we should probably just buff these guys. And we're getting some overwatches. The looters are definitely doing more for us than the flash kits and everybody else. But we end up taking out those drones. He's got some more pathfinders. Trying to focus down those flash kits. Sniping my def dread, or not def dreads, def copters. Using his crisis suits to chop through the Gretchen here. And I assume he's trying to snipe my def copter, which he does. Now he does some damage to my pain boy. Those guys are getting some good attacks into the flash kits, but they have so much health it takes them a while to chop through. He's moving, I think that's a breacher.
Come here so we can smash your teeth out.
He's got, must have a broadside back there.
Come here so we can smash your teeth out.
He's got a cadre that he's using to snipe some of these guys, so luckily he only takes out one model because he attacks somebody with a lot of health. He's moving the other pathfinders down and using them to set up some overwatch. He's got a Riptide.
Come here so we can smash your teeth out.
I rarely find that they're worth it on multiplayer matches, but we'll see. I'm glad to see some other players use them. So maybe they'll teach me something. And he's focusing down a lot of my Gretchens because he doesn't like them being on the Overwatch. I'm actually surprised he didn't use his missiles. Oh, it's because he's using the missiles to go after the other one. Alright, so we're now ready to hopefully start engaging. I think the Gretchen should be able to do some decent damage to a lot of these units. Now, what I don't want is those Pathfinders to attack my Ludas here. So it's like, let's move the Gretchen up to start using some Overwatches.
What's the plan?
And it's like, alright, well, he got you here. So let's run you down. And maybe we just shoot into these breachers here. This will give me 50% additional attacks with 1 armor piercing. So, pretty helpful. And that just about takes those guys out. So it's like, alright, that was worth it. So it's like, well, maybe if I just run the Grots down here, they can finish the breachers off. Because I'm not sure I want those knobs to eat that attack up. So it's like, let's move these guys down here. Barely do any damage. And they do get the kill, so it's like, alright, I'm happy with that. I just want to make sure that Crisis Suit didn't have flamers, so I'm not going to put myself in vulnerable positions. So it's like, alright, they did decent damage against one model. I wonder what kind of damage they'll do against these 4. And it's not great, but the bigger thing is just creating a zone of control. And it's like, I was originally planning on using the flash kits to run up here and get the kill on the Pathfinders, but I think I'd much rather take out the cadres, given the other units that he has back here. So I was thinking that was going to kill him, but he's got literally like 1 health left, so that was unfortunately a bad roll for me. So now I'm just trying to decide how I want to go. It's like, I think I just need to close the distance here because he's going to outrange me so bad. And it's like, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll just run this guy down and get the attack. Now, I don't want to put you necessarily right next to all my other guys because I don't want them to kill my Def Copter and blow up all these guys, but I also need to guarantee that I take out that cadre, since we are doing an Exterminatus mission. So it's like, where do I want to position you? It's like, I guess the knobs have the most health, and the flash kits will at least allow us to do damage to his high-value targets from range, making it a little bit easier. And so we'll just bring the Pain Boy out there, and we'll bring the Gretchen down here to try to lock down these Pathfinders more.
Oh no, he's looking at me.
And it's like, well, I wonder if I can just blind those Pathfinders, or if they're too far away. And it looks like they are. So it's like, alright, let's come to the other side and kind of play around here and see what I want to do. It's like he's got multiple guys that are in range here, so maybe we'll bring these weak Gretchen down to see what's over here. And it's like, well, you've really got any guys over here. So it's like, maybe if I bring the strike here, this should help us get some kills and do some splash damage. And it just about allows us to take out some Pathfinders. And it does allow us to hurt those Fire Warriors, so that's not bad. It's like, we'll try to heal here. it's like, how far do I want to move the knobs here? Because I want to get them into combat, but I also don't want them to get shot up all the way. But maybe I do want to have them get kind of shot up to try to keep my range guys alive. If I bring the Ludas up, then they'll be able to shoot into the Pathfinders and get some kills.
What's the plan?
So maybe we just focus on that right now. And they're down. So that's pretty huge. And if I bring these guys down, I can start working on the crisis suits. Because I think they're going to be more of a nuisance than the fire warriors are.
Luas have the best shooters. The old ways is best.
So now I'm just trying to decide how aggressive do I want to be with my movement of the weird boy. Because it's like he should be able to snipe these guys from most locations. So maybe if I put him against the wall, that'll be full cover. We'll bring the pain boy down here to try to buff everybody's health. And if he doesn't like that, then maybe he'll waste some attacks sniping the pain boys for one turn. And that will allow me to keep pushing and closing the distance. And if he doesn't, then he'll be having to shoot through a lot of bonus health. Either way, it'll work to our advantage.
Ready to saw bones.
I'm not sure if he still has guys that are invisible right now, because I don't feel like I see where all of his points are. I'm 2 point plus 1 here with our command points. He's got that Riptide. It's like, well, let's move you up, see if you can maybe get some shots onto these crisis suits, and you miss. So this guy's kind of letting me down here. I can run these guys down and get some shots into the crisis suits. And that takes out one of them.
It's our time.
I can bring the knobs out, and then that may allow me to start either using them to soak up shots or to even close the distance on some of these other units. Because again, I need to close the distance to lock them down, or they're just going to shoot me apart. So we'll run these guys up. He's got a 59% chance to hit. But again, I really would like to try to take these guys down. And another one's down, so that wasn't too bad.
Orcs is the best, and us flash kids are the best orcs.
And now, it's like if I run those guys down here, we can attack those guys. And that may actually allow me to kill it. Left 12 health. It's like I could run him out here and do some damage, but at the same time, I don't want him necessarily to die.
What now?
So maybe I'll use the Pathfinders to start blinding them. And then if I bring you down to here, this should put you in heavy cover. So that should hopefully keep him alive. And then I guess what I'm going to have to do, because I don't want that
If we have to, we'll move.
piranha moving around, is we'll shoot it, blow it up, and then that should do explosion damage to those guys, which it does. Pull you back.
Nothing.
Try to keep you in some cover.
What's the plan?
So we got all these guys over here. It's like, well, if I move you here, that'll also give some bonus health to the knobs and everything that are just hanging out here. I don't think I want to move them up any further. Fortunately, the weird boy bonus is going to be going away next turn. Might as well heal up the flash kits while we're here. In retrospect, I probably should have healed them up with the other guy too, before they moved. And then we should move this weird boy into cover, because I need to keep some of them protected in case I accidentally overextend and get him killed. So he's using his missiles here. Alright, he's trying to snipe that Death Copter down. I'm not sure why he jumped like that to do that. Shit, that was my HQ unit. And now he's got, so he is sniping my guys. My sub-commanders. Well, and my actual HQ, unfortunately. Using some missiles. Riptide's moving up. Coming after the knobs. I think that's the right decision. Oh, I would have thought he would have been able to kill those guys. Oh, never mind, he did. He's pulling back with the crisis suit. Sniping that down. Gonna blow it up. Yeah. Working on killing my poor pain boy.
I can feel a scrap coming.
Cadre's shooting him. And he's bringing the commander down in my face. He must want a flame, which he does. But this is definitely an overextension on his part, which is great for me because this is his HQ commander. So it's like, yeah, you got the kill, but now I'm going to be able to counter your guys and stop you from having your great command abilities. And for the Tau, those are very powerful. So it's like, alright, well, if you want to let my knobs run up here and start attacking you, I'm cool with that. So we come here, smack him. Does 150 damage. Now it's like I could use his abilities, but I think I should just be able to get the kills, to be honest. So it's like, well, do I want to use you or the other guy? It's like at 70% with all that damage, I feel like I should almost be able to get the kill. And it's not that you almost do, you do get the kill. So it's like, alright, well, let's run you over here and start to work on these high-value targets. And we'll bring the flash kits over here and start shooting into the Riptide. That does 140 damage because he left him out in the open for me. It's like, well, how much do I want to move here? It's like I can run the Gretchen over here. It's like maybe I can use them to close distances to allow me to lock down the fire warriors over there. If nothing else, I can maybe use them to soak up more Overwatch. And we've still got all these guys over here. My Death Copter is still alive. It's like, well, I feel like I gotta use these knobs to focus down these crisis suits. So those are pretty big hits.
Ready to saw bones.
It's like I kind of like to heal here, but I feel like if I get the Pain Boy to land the attack, that should definitely do some more damage. And it does, it kills 3 of them, so hopefully you'll get the kill there, and you do. So it's like, alright, where do I want to attack with you? It's like, I think I'd rather just have you shoot the crisis suits. It's like I can attack here. Was expecting that to do more damage. So it's like, I guess I'm going to just pull you guys over here. Probably should have attacked first since he has more splash damage, and then that would have probably killed the guys. But it is what it is. So we'll start running the Grots over here to try to lock some other guys down. And it's like, well, I guess I'm going to use these flash kits to come over here and kill the crisis suits. So they're down. We'll run you up to here so then you can get some buffs from the Pain Boys here. It's like, well, let's move you guys up to here. You can come over here, but now you're no longer in range. You're shooting into him. He's just kind of chilling back here. It's like, let's try to move him up as much as we can here. Nothing else, maybe we can aggro him to come to fight me.
Looters have the best shooters.
It's like I've got the looters, I can shoot into a lot of different things here. It's like you can get the kills here, or I can shoot into the Riptide. I feel like getting that bonus attack here is worth it. And it's like, well, you did so much damage, we'll just run down with these knobs, use their ability, and smack. And it's like, alright, that was 100 some damage. Now, it seems crazy to me that, like, the broadside and all that stuff has a melee attack and zone of control, whereas the Riptide, which is massive and looks like it would be able to do more damage, can't attack in melee. So, I don't know why some of them do. Honestly, I don't think any of them should have really a melee attack. I think that should just be one of the penalties. If you close the distance, then you're just screwed as the Tau, right? It's like, well, let's shoot into here. Riptide's down. We're now up to 48% of their units being killed. It's like, we'll move you over to here, because what I need to do is, again, close the distance, and that gives you a 90% chance to shoot into the Pathfinders. And they're now down. We'll run you guys down here to just be an annoyance. I don't think you're going to give really any significant zone of control, but again, it's all about hindering as much of his units as we can here. We still got a fair amount of forces. We only have killed about half of them so far. It's like, well, let's keep moving you here. And it's like, shit, I forgot I still had these guys. So there's not likely going to be anything that you're going to be able to shoot, unfortunately. It's like I could put them up here, but I think they're still just going to get shot, so that's probably not the best thing. It's like I think we should just keep moving forward as much as we can since you have such a little slow movement. It's like I feel like that's a good spot for you, so let's move you up to just try to buff everything, and if nothing else you can get sniped. Just pull you back to here, and hopefully that'll give you enough movement the next turn to get some attacks.
What's the plan?
He attacks, misses it. He misses his attack. He lands his. Gets the bonus attack, or the free attack I should say. They're all shooting into the Ludas. Just using his missiles. Pretty decent damage. They're shooting into my Ludas.
We're under fire. Right through yonder. We're under fire. Don't let them move ya, huh?
And he ends up conceding. So, I thought this was actually a pretty effective setup to use against the Tau, because I think it would have worked out in most situations. You know, the Flash Gits and the Ludas have enough damage that they can attack and kill units that have fairly heavy armor, such as the pseudo vehicles, which are the mech suits, the actual vehicles such as the Hammerhead, and then they have the armor penetrating to be able to take out crisis suits, stealth suits, those stealth ghost needles or whatever they're called. I can never remember the name of these because I'm not really a Tau player. Now, the one thing you'd have to be careful with the other one is that it has that flame attack, because that definitely is a hard counter to the orc units, is those flamers. And then the commander also has some ability. Now, he did overextend himself quite a bit by bringing that commander out, because by allowing me to easily get that kill, the commander has major buffs for the Tau unit. So he gets plus, I think, 10% range accuracy and plus 15% range damage. So that could have had huge dividends for him and keeping him in the back line there. Now, I think he got kill crazy and wanted to just keep focusing down and taking down those pain boys. So I do get that, but with all the forces I was killing, he could have been summoning additional crisis suits. He could have been using his missile attacks to stop me by using those to get kills on my sub commanders, which he wanted to focus down, and appropriately so. Potentially if you use the big mech, that could also give you some ranged accuracy protection, but I felt with all the forces that they were likely to have, they're just so easy to get sniped that it wasn't worth it. Now, perhaps the Burner Boys would be another really good option, but then if he does end up going Crisis Suit heavy, Stealth Suit heavy, Mech Suit heavy, then they won't be able to do anything. Whereas the Ludas, I think, were just probably the MVPs in this match. They're great at killing light infantry, they're great at sniping everything, so the Ludas are a big win. What I haven't figured out, and I've tried to do some matches, but I just can't get them into range, is whether the electro cannon or whatever they have, the vehicle, if the crisis suits and the other battle mechs and things all count as vehicles, or if the only vehicles that count as true vehicles are the ones, or units that count as vehicles, I should say, are the ones that have the explosion. I suspect it's the latter, which is unfortunate. Because I feel like the Riptide should count as a vehicle, and so should some of those big suits. Maybe not the crisis suits. But I just feel like the other kit, because it costs more, needs to have some buffs, because it just doesn't seem like it consistently does as much damage. Because the Might is Right, giving you that additional armor piercing and 50% shots, allows you to do a lot of things. So definitely a highly effective force here. And the Gretchen allows us to get all those Overwatch. Stacking it with the Pain Boy allows them to soak up a ton of fire, allowing your better units to get into combat. The Knobs with their claws are able to do damage to pretty much everything. You have so much HP if you have everything stacked up that you can just soak up a ton of shots. The Riptide was very expensive. It was too far in the front, and we were able to close the distance and then just kill it, at 300 some points. That's almost 10% of his force right there, and then you throw in a couple of those real heavy Hammerheads, which were definitely paying dividends for him. I mean, I think he got enough kills with them that they paid for themselves, but once you start getting all those sub-commanders and HQ units taken out, then all of a sudden you have, one attack where you can kill one unit with that railgun, and when you have a squad of 5 knobs charging at you, that's not going to work. Whereas if you have the other one that has splash damage and 3 attacks, that may actually be the niche here, especially if you're using the cadres, because I think they're going to do some amazing damage with the splash damage. I'm curious to see if I fight some orcs to try that technique and see if that really turns them into being a real heavy hitting unit with those 3, given the splash and everything. Because even if they suffer the 40 damage to HP, they have so much HP otherwise that they should still be able to tank it. Then you can just use them to pull back and stay at range with 100% hit chance from the cadre. So I'm kind of curious to see how that works out. But Defcopters, not sure on this map it really worked out for us. Now there's a big open area here, so if you're able to do some hit and runs, I think it would have worked a lot better. And then if you do have a big heavy infantry, dropping those bombs on there clearly was effective, because their infantry don't have a lot of armor. But didn't work out for me on this match here. As for tips for the opponent, I think he had a pretty decent force selection. He was just a little too aggressive, overextended himself. He outranges me and has a little equal movement to me just about. So if he would have stayed farther back, it would have been a much closer match. But because he became fixated on wanting to assassinate my units, it pushed too much of his forces in the front, allowed me to just totally collapse on him, kill him, and then there was nothing left to stop me from closing the back line. So had this game continued, I would have ended up closing the distance with him probably in 1 to 2 turns, and he wouldn't have been able to keep up, and I would have killed his units, and he wouldn't have been able to knock out enough of mine to get a lot of those points, because I would have started pulling back the weakened units so he wouldn't get the points on the Exterminatus. So it makes sense that he ended up conceding here. So that would be my thoughts. Either if you're going to play the Orcs, I think going with a heavy breacher is a good way to go. Heavy Pathfinders, especially on big open maps, since those ion cannons can do so much damage, and then the broadsides I think are a much more cost-effective way than the hammerheads, because they still have a range at 10, which I think is too much. I think the hammerhead should be the one that with the railgun should have the 10 to really differentiate it, and then they have the missiles as well. So I think that would be a better use, because every 3 turns you'll get to launch those missiles at good hit chances, good damage, and it's a free attack. So I think you'll get a lot more bang for your buck that way. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe, because we post more content for you. Have a great day.